Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Playlist Podcast with me, Gemma Roots. And guess who's back?
Oh, back here again. Jacko's back. Tell her friend. To all my Eminem fans out there, I hope you enjoyed that reference.
Good to have you back, Jack.
It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you. And I mean, what have I missed? Tell me.
You've missed an awful lot. Well, you were here for the summer for our festival, and you've missed some very good interviews.
Well, I'm very sad to hear that. But at the same time, great though that that you've carried the show going, Gemma. I mean, that did not make any sense. You've carried the show on, and you've done me proud. So well done.
Oh, thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
Well, you've been there behind the scenes, so it's not just been me.
Yeah, I've been there in support. We'll use that as a term. Okay. But I will be back on the show more often now. I'm not back full time, but I'll be back more often. So hopefully everyone listening is smiling with glory right now, as I've said that. I'm sure they are.
You've got your own little fan, Jack.
Yes, I've heard about this. It's gonna sound bad. I forgot his name. Can you remind me?
It was. Let me just get the email up, and I will read you what he said.
Oh boy. Okay.
So his name was Justin Roberts. Just wanted to give him a shout out because I promised him I would.
Okay.
He has been listening over the last couple of years. So hello, Justin. Thank you for listening for the amount of time that you have and stuck with us. And he said that he really enjoys the show. And he was asking where you were.
Oh well.
Whether you were okay.
Whether I was okay. No, Justin, I was in the Bahamas for 6 months and I didn't want to come back, to be honest.
So shall we move on to what today's episode is?
Yeah, we could talk about how great it is to have me back. I don't mind. We can do that for the whole episode if you want. Justin, I sure would appreciate it. Joking.
Right, so today is the last episode of 2022. And it brings back probably one of my favourite episodes to do of the year. And we are going to be announcing the nominations for our awards for this year.
Nice.
We've kind of changed it up a bit this year, so completely different category we had last year. And some very good nominations, if I say so myself.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, brilliant.
So shall we get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump straight into it.
So the first category is Best Album.
Ooh, always a big one.
So the nominations are Harry's House, Harry Styles.
No.
That's probably one of my favourite ones.
I was just shocked at who actually the album was by then, Harry's House, Harry Styles.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick Lamar. Renaissance, Beyonce. Life is Yours, Foals. Midnights, Taylor Swift. The Car, Arctic Monkeys. About Last Night, Mabel. And Supernova, Nova Twins.
Good range there.
Very good mix.
Yeah, good mix. Okay, well, normally how we do this is we talk about who we think should win, and then we do who we predict will win. Isn't that what we normally do? Right. Yeah. Okay. Check it. It's been a while, Okay. I think it will come down to Harry and Taylor personally. I think it will come down to them two. Beyonce could maybe come in third place, but I think it will come down to Harry and Taylor. yeah, both are very critically acclaimed albums, 100%. I mean, Taylor Swift has made some history, I think, on the Billboard chart by having, I think, is it 10 songs in the top 40 or something? That's,
correct.
that is, you have to respect that. That's incredible. So yeah, and obviously Harry's House was heavily critically acclaimed as well. I know As It Was like a massive single for the year. More on that later. But in terms of who I think it will come down to them two. And in terms of who I would like to see win, I would like to see Harry win it actually. But then a big part of me would also quite like to see Kendrick Lamar do it because that album had a lot of hype and it was his first album in 5 years, I believe. And as always, he reflects on a lot of race and culture issues. So yeah, I'd quite like to see Kendrick do it, but I also would quite like to see Harry do it. But I think it will come down to Harry or Taylor, personally.
Yeah, I think either Taylor or Harry. But in my opinion, I really think it's going to be Harry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Next category is Best Single. So it's As It Was, Harry Styles, House on Fire, Mimi Webb, Break My Soul, Beyonce, Running Up That Hill, Kate Bush, Super Freaky Girl, Nicki Minaj, I'm Good / Blue, David Guetta and BB Rexha, Unholy, Sam Smith featuring Kim Petras, and Worlds in Need, Liam Gallagher.
Okay, what are you thinking on this?
Who do we think?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I think, personally, it's going to be a mix between Kate Bush, because Running Up That Hill was such a big song over the summer with Stranger Things. But I think Harry Styles is going to steal that one again.
Yeah, I do think Harry is probably the favourite. Personally, I really liked I'm Good / Blue. I thought that was a great club party anthem. And that was great. I loved that when that came out. I would quite like to see that maybe make it into the top 3. That would be really good. And I think that has a very strong chance of making it into the top 3, actually. And I also think the Sam Smith one as well, because that was #1 for a few weeks, I believe, and that's played a lot on TikTok. You got to remember TikTok is actually going to make quite an impact on these, actually.
Yeah,
I think you got to remember.
A lot of record labels now treat songs as it's a success if it does well on TikTok.
Yeah, both them songs have done really well on TikTok this year. I know that, so that's to play an impact. And then again, As It Was huge. I think that was Harry's second UK #1, and that really got things kick-started for Harry's House. I think it was #1 for 5 weeks in this country. So yeah. I think I think them 3 are gonna be the top 3. I don't know the order personally, but if I was to pick one that I would like to see win, I would actually like to see I'm Good / Blue win personally.
That's your tune at the moment, isn't it?
It's a great song. I mean, it made it into my Spotify top 5 of the year. It was actually my second most listened to song this year.
That's impressive.
Yeah, enough said. Yeah.
You must have listened to it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's only been out a little while.
Came out in August or July because my cousin actually was in Ibiza at the time when David Guetta dropped the track in Ibiza. So it's only been out for 5 to 6 months.
Right. Next category. We've got Best Musician. We've got Harry Styles, Mimi Webb, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo, Joel Corey, and Becky Hill. Who do you think?
I'm probably going to go with. I don't want to see Ed Sheeran win this personally. He hasn't done an awful lot this year in comparison to these other acts.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. So I don't think he should win. No offense, Ed. I think it should be. I personally think it will come down to Harry or Taylor again, really, on this one. because they both had big albums this year and people were very hyped for them. And actually, do you mind reading me the rest of them? I have kind of forgot. I'm sorry.
So if I read them again, it's Harry Styles, Mimi Webb, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo, Joel Corey, and Becky Hill.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to see Kendrick do it, and I think he has got a strong fan base. So I think a lot of people might vote for him actually. And again, big album, touched on a lot of issues. But I don't know. I think overall, who's had the most impactful year? I probably would say Harry. So I'll go with Harry to win this one.
Agreed. It seems that Harry might win everything this year.
Oh, there's at least one award.
But in all fairness, I watched Kendrick Lamar's set from Glastonbury in the summer, and it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's good live. He's very good live, I have to say. So, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be Taylor or Harry.
100%.
But who knows?
Yeah,
like we saw last year, a lot of our predictions went straight out the window.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it's all down to the voters, really.
Indeed.
Right. Next category is Best Band. So we've got 5 Seconds of Summer, The Vamps, 1975, Blink-182, Arctic Monkeys, Slipknot, and Foals.
I mean, I already know who you would want to win, so let's be honest. But who do you think's going to win? But surely that's a different answer.
I think if you're looking at British listeners, I think the 1975.
Yeah, 100%.
But in my personal opinion, I'd like the Vamps to win because it's their 10-year anniversary, fitting award.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, Arctic Monkeys released The Car, and that was their 7th album, and there was a lot of hype behind that. They're very, very popular. There's a very fair chance they could win this, if I'm being honest. Foals as well, they're a huge. They've grown over the years. They've actually been announced as a headline that for Reading and Leeds next year. Their album this year did very well, both critically and commercially. But I would probably say, I reckon it will come down to 1975 and Arctic Monkeys personally. I think it will be a horse race between them two. Yeah, them two. It will come down to, I reckon.
Right. Next one. New category for this year. We've gone for Best Indie Artist. So on the podcast, as a lot of our listeners know, we like to showcase independent musicians and give them a chance to promote their music. So we've decided to go for Best Indie Musicians that have been in the charts, either US or in the UK. So this year we've got Wet Leg, Joe, Bastille, Years and Years, Baby Queen, Christine and the Queens, and Little Sims.
Okay. I mean, for me personally, Wet Leg probably had the most biggest year out of all of them bands. Well, all of them acts, sorry. Their debut album, Wet Leg, did very well. NME actually named it the 2nd best album of the year. That's quite a big thing for, a big major name like NME to do. And they're also supporting Harry Styles on tour next year. So, they're not doing bad for themselves. Definitely not. So I would say I'm going to predict them to win, and I actually think they should win. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say about that.
I'm going to say it's probably either going to be Years and Years, or I really like Joe. So for those of you that don't know who Joe is, it's Joe Keery who plays Steve Harrington in Stranger Things. It's like his side music project, and he released his 2nd album in September, and it's all I've been listening to. My Spotify Wrapped this year, the top 5 songs was all from that album.
Very nice.
I was listening to it that much that Spotify told me that it couldn't create a playlist from the songs that I'd been listening to this year.
Nice.
And obviously Years and Years, very big in the UK. So I predict for them to do pretty well.
Okay.
Next one is Best Indie Album. So we've got Wet Leg by Wet Leg, Decide by Joe, Being Funny in a Foreign Language by the 1975, Moss by Maya Hawke, Dance Fever by Florence and the Machine, and Emails I Can't Send by Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, what are you thinking?
I think it's going to be Wet Leg.
Yep, same. Or 1975.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a horse race between them two, I reckon.
I totally agree.
Maybe Florence. You know, Florence's album was pretty good, and they've got a heavy fan base, and they've been going for a long time. Florence and the Machine, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, so that could be interesting. Yeah, it will come down to them three, I think. But I think Wet Leg and 1975 will really have the tight race, in my opinion. Yeah.
And then next category is Best Tour. So we've got Love on Tour, Harry Styles, Music of the Spheres, Coldplay, The Greatest Hits Arena Tour, 10-year anniversary of the Ramps, Happier Than Ever, the World Tour, Billie Eilish, the Helen Mega Tour, Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer, and the Greatest Hits Tour, Westlife.
Been to three of them.
I've been to one.
Well, actually, between the two of us, then we've been to 4/6 of the nominations, which is pretty good. I mean, if I'm being biased, I would want to see. Only because, well, the Helen Mega Tour was like a dream for me because you know it's pop punk gods in there. You know, Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Weezer. But I will have to say it will probably come down to Harry and Billy in this one, if I'm being honest. Probably I'd be the two most popular artists in this category. Let's be real here. You know, I think it will come down to them two, and I probably will say Harry Styles will probably do it. I mean, I didn't get to go to the tour, but I am actually seeing the tour next year, so I'm pumped for that. But I mean, he definitely broke records with Wembley Stadium this year on that tour. So, but then Billy did very well with hers as well, and hers live was incredible visually as well. Oh yeah, I think it will come down to Harry or Billy. I know who you would want to win, so let's say who you think's going to win. Let's surely you don't think they're going to win. Let's be honest.
Well, you don't realise, you underestimate how powerful the Vamps fan base is. Once they know that they've been nominated, they will keep voting.
Okay. So you think they're going to win as well?
I'd love them to win because, to be fair, this is probably the best concert I've been to, and I went twice.
Okay. So you think they're going to win as well?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
And then our final category, like we have every year, is Best Podcast Guest. Did you want me to run through the list of all of the musicians that you've missed this year, Jack?
Yeah, I was going to say, because I won't really be able to talk much about this one. So,
so to start off the year, we had Mandeep, then Lan Ray, then Silverheart.
I remember all these guys.
Yeah, and then Marshall Hannah, Flashcards, Tom Ellis, Kate McCabe, Vicky Passion, No One Sphere, Steve Walker, and then Broadtree, Scott Ames, Raven Rain, Pocket Lint, Hook, then Neon Town, Sabina Shantora, then Stephanie Caprera, and then Aware.
Yeah, most of them I do not recall. Sounds like we had a lot of people on the show, which is really good. So well done, Gemma.
We've had an awful lot of people on this year. I think it's the most guests we've had. And at the bottom of our voting, form, we are going to have episode suggestions for 2023 again. Apologies to everybody that put suggestions last year and we haven't got around to doing them. But if you want to put down your suggestion again, I'm sure we can get round to doing them at some point next year.
I was going to say, yeah, we can't promote that too much because we still have last year's to work on.
Yes.
So, you know.
But so they've probably been lost in the system somewhere. So if you want to suggest it again, or if you want us to do something different, pop it down and we'll add it to the list. And
Yeah,
we might get round to doing it in 2026.
You're already selling that very well there, Jeff.
But it's pretty good though that we're getting a lot more musicians on the show.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. It means I don't have to be here as much. Well, I wish I haven't been, so it works really well.
And I already have 2 artists for next year already booked.
Oh, well, maybe I might meet them. Who knows? Hopefully I will. I'll do my best. You know, this is my slight comeback.
Well, I hope to see you on the show again more.
You will. You'll see me more. Not. I won't be back full time because I'll be honest. I probably won't ever be back full time. You know, life gets in the way. But I will be on more often than I have been this year. That's for sure. Because I've been missed by one person. So I'll do my best, Justin, for you. More often. I'm so sorry. I hope you've enjoyed this episode at least. So yeah, you watch them. The ratings are going to go through the roof now.
Do you want to tell the listeners about where you took me 2 weeks ago?
Well, to be fair, Gemma, you did have a choice in this. Gemma experienced her first kind of rock show, and let's be honest, this is quite tame. So we took her to see a band called Pierce the Veil, which are quite a heavy, kind of hard rock band, but they're very during the kind of My Chemical Romance, Sleeping with Sirens kind of phase. You know, so if you know them bands, then you know what I mean. If you don't know, listen to them bands, and then hopefully you'll know what I mean after that. So yeah, Gemma went to her first gig like that, and I had a great time. Our friend Chloe had a great time. Gemma, I thought you had a great time. Clearly not.
Not really.
Nah,
I just didn't like the whole atmosphere. It's not me. I think it was the whole thing if it's a standing gig and you have nowhere to sit, and I like my personal space.
Well, never go to a festival then, Gemma, because that doesn't exist in that world.
Don't get me wrong, the music was okay.
That's not what you said.
But after reflection, once I got home and thought about it, I thought, okay, but I wouldn't listen to it again.
Right,
Let's just say I enjoyed. I had that experience. Didn't really enjoy it. So now you can't say, well, you haven't tried it.
No, fair enough. And, you know, you clearly enjoyed it that much because you were too tired after the show to come out in Camden with me. So there you go.
Well, you came back at 4 o'clock in the morning?
It's Friday night in Camden. What else are you supposed to
do? You came back and proceeded to eat sweets before you went to bed.
I was hungry and the kebabby was shut. What else was I supposed to do? Look, I was hungry at the gig. I got 2 packets of crisps because I was hungry.
Yes, which you ate in 5 minutes.
Yeah, because I was hungry. Anyway, we're going completely off subject. No one wants to hear about this. This is why I left the show, guys. I get victimised for what I eat. Right.
Well, back to the awards now. After we've
you got to tell people how they can vote.
Right. So back to the business end of things. Right. So so voting is now open. You can vote via the link on our socials, and I'll put a link on the website too. You can vote as many times as you want. So if you want to vote once, twice, 10 times, 100 times, whatever you like. But this year, we want to try and get to 500,000 votes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We've nearly done it before. We can do it again.
Okay. That'd be good. That would be good. When does the vote close?
So it will close the second Thursday of the month. Because I want a break.
Right, what date is that?
So that is in January. So that will be the 12th of January.
Wow. Oh damn. Oh, I won't even be in the country at the time. I'll be in Disneyland Paris. Yeah. I won't even be in the country. There you go.
So voting will close then. And then we will reveal the winners shortly after that.
Indeed. Well, sounds good. Vote wisely, people. Please. Vote wisely. Really think about it when you're voting. You know, does this person deserve it, or are you just voting because you're a fan? No excuse.
Right, so that wraps up our episodes for 2022.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a year, I must say. It's been great to be part of it. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, thank you for having me back on, Gemma. I'm glad I wasn't secretly replaced or let go.
No, I wouldn't replace you, Jack. Don't worry.
Fair enough. That's good to
You
know.
have a fan.
Yeah, to be fair, I do the majority of the editing anyway, so let's be honest. You would be a little bit screwed.
Well, you got to do something.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a busy man. What can I say? Right. Anyway, well, thank you guys for listening. And yeah, get voting. Have a lovely Christmas and Happy New Year. If you're already listening to this in 2023, then I hope you had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year anyway. And we will see you next time. And I promise I will be on more often next year.
And speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.